Hello Aries, Elsie here to do your reading. It is for the week ahead. How you doing, Aries? Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Aries, we're a little bit late on your reading this week, but it is Thanksgiving weekend here in Canada, so that's where I've been. So if you are Canadian, happy Thanksgiving to you, and all of you Canadians that are scattered about the world. Aries, we're here to do a reading for you for the week ahead. It is for Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. We are also going to do a 9-card draw. I've already dropped a card. Look at that. We're doing a 9-card draw this week. And if you are someone who is always here, if you're my ride or die, thanks for coming back. And if you're brand new, I hope you'll stay. Let's find out what's going on here. For you, Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Fire family. Let's find out what's going on here. And at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you about how to find a private reading or the extended, or both. We'll talk about it at the end of this read. Tell me about Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. We've got the Page of Swords. What have you been up to? What's this? Tell me about the Page of Swords, please. We've got the 9 of Cups. And we've got the Knight of Swords. It feels like It feels like you're making a plan, Aries, is what it feels like to me. It feels as though you're making a plan, but you've been watching something from a distance for a while. It feels like you've been watching, investigating, and it's giving you ideas. Are those butterflies? Yes, they are. It's changing. Whatever you're watching is changing your mind. It feels like it is something that maybe you never thought of before, or possibly something that is making you grow, I'm going to say, because the 9 of Cups is here, and the 9s are always about doing something by yourself. And this is wish fulfillment, but it's internal. It feels like it's in the mind. It feels like you've grown mentally, or you've grown, look, it feels like somebody is teaching you about emotional things, like maybe you've got a guru you're watching, or something like that, but it feels like this Knight of Swords energy tells me that it inspires you to be brave in things of emotional ways. It's making you have emotional bravery, if that makes sense. But it feels like you've been watching something, maybe through the computer, or maybe you've been watching someone from a distance. I feel like you're being inspired by someone to move forward, or to say something kind, or something from the heart space. It feels like you're ready to be brave and charge in on something here. What else do we need to know? We've got the Ace of Swords. Look, we got a lot of swords. What is this? Tower showing up with Libra. Really, hey? Very interesting. So it feels like this is an awakening. Like it feels like something that really jars you. And yeah, it feels like it's an awakening because the Ace of Swords is here. It's like, oh crap, that's what it was. It feels like you're having a recollection of something. It feels like an unfolding because the 9 of Cups is here with the Tower. And so I always say, like, it's not like we just change from one person to another, or personality to another. It's more like an unfolding for you, Aries. It feels like a recollection or a realizing of something. And it's bringing you to a balanced place, or a state of harmony within the self. Because look, we've got 3 swords here, and it feels like that possibly you were dealing with some heartache or heartbreak. We've got the Justice card here, and I feel like the Tower brings in harmony of some sort. It brings something back to its natural state. For some of you, you could be getting an answer on something that is legal. This could be, the Knight of Swords coming in to deliver the papers or deliver the news, possibly, but it could be something legal. Justice can stand for that. The Tower energy is here, so it's something that, it's a realization. It feels like a realization that works out in your favor, or you're having a realization. The epiphany is here. It could be a contract. You could be having a contract delivered to your home, something you're not expecting. Might be causing a Tower. Tell me what else we need to know, please, for Aries. We've got the High Priestess. We've got the 10 of Wands. It's about something that's been really quiet. It does feel like there is someone here who is either liberating themselves or is deciding to speak up, and whatever is going to be said is going to change something. Aries, it feels like you've been carrying around something with you that's very heavy. it does feel as though you've been quiet about it. Excuse me. So you've kind of been suffering in silence, Aries, is what it feels like. Suffering in silence, and now you're about to say something. You need your justice, but I feel like the Tower here is shifting everything in that direction. Either someone is coming to you with some news, or you're the one who's becoming brave enough to just say it out loud. Now that you're happy with yourself, it's like, you know what, when you're in the Nine of Cups energy, you no longer need external validation. So you don't really give a crap what anybody says. And that might be why Gemini has shown up here, because Gemini just doesn't really care to read the room. Gemini can read the room really well, but Gemini doesn't care to read the room. Gemini's just going to say what's on their mind. So it feels like you're going to do that. You're in this energy of the Knight of Swords, and whatever you're about to say, I feel you're going to say in a very balanced way, but you're no longer carrying this with you. No, there's an epiphany here. You've been looking at something from a distance, and the Tower, I feel like you've been waiting on it, to be honest, because all these swords are telling me that you've been in your head, and there's 5 swords, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, one in the hand of Justice. So it feels like that there has been something that you've been trying to figure out on your own, something that has been hard to deal with on the inside, and you've been dealing with it alone in silence here. But I feel like you're not going to be in silence much longer, because the Queen of Swords is here. Let's put down a couple cards and we'll find out what we're talking about. Something is under the surface here that you don't see. That's what these 2 cards will be. Tell me about this. We've got the 7 of Wands and the Death card. No more having to protect yourself. No more having to block out people. No more. It feels like something is definitely coming into harmony. It feels like you're no longer going to have to protect yourself, hold back. You're no longer going to, you know what it is? I feel like your throat chakra is not blocked anymore. That's what it feels like. The Queen of Swords is here to speak their truth. Bottom of the deck, we have the 10 of Swords. You are burning it all to the ground. That's what it feels like. You're about to say something here, Aries, that's really important, or somebody is bringing in important information to you that is going to burn it all to the ground. Something is becoming exposed, because the Tower is here with Justice. Somebody is exposing something by saying it out loud, and this epiphany here with the Tower is like, oh, that's what was going on. And it feels like no more shenanigans. Something here is coming to an end, and you're going to see the betrayal clearly, because the Tower is here. It feels like this Death card is transforming this 7 of Wands energy. So you no longer have to have your back up against the wall. You no longer have to feel blocked off. You no longer have to protect yourself. It feels like that there's a decision coming down, I'm telling you. There's a decision coming down here. Now, it could be about a home, a house, a family. It could be about a job. 7 of Pentacles is here. Something you've worked really hard on, possibly. Maybe you've been waiting for an answer about selling the house. It could be that. But there is something that is going down here. Let's clarify a little bit, find out what's going on. Tell me about Aries. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Aries. Tell me about Aries. What do we need to know about Aries? Look, the heart of the matter is the Tower. Something is shifting hard, but it's going to work out in the best way for you. But I think that this Tower is going to expose something. That's very interesting. And you've been watching, waiting, quietly, carrying something that has been really heavy. And something here, look at all these ending cards, right? We've got the 10 of Wands, which is the end of the cycle. We've got the Tower, which comes to break everything down. Look, the only reason that the Tower shows up is because the obstacle needs to be removed. It's no longer of use. It was an illusion anyway, and it is no longer of use. And then we have the Death card. We also have the 10 of Swords. We have the 9 here. So something here is coming to an end. It feels like you're going to get to know about it. Tell me what the Knight of Swords is. Tell me what that is first. Let's go there. Tell me what the Knight of Swords is. We've got the 5 of Pentacles. We've got the Knight of Wands. And we've got the 2 of Swords. Someone is making a very brave decision, is what it looks like. A very brave decision it feels like somebody who's been cut out. So it could be cut out of the will, cut out of the family, cut out of the friend group. It feels like somebody who has been cut out is coming charging back in with some very pertinent and poignant information. Things you need to know, things that are absolute truth. That Knight of Swords waves the sword of truth in the air. And I'm not talking about someone's version of the truth. I'm talking about the actual truth. It feels like it's going to cause somebody to make a decision which has been lingering for a while, which has been, it feels like there's been a little bit of juggling, or I'm not really sure if I want to make that decision right now because I know it's going to have to be a permanent decision. So the Knight of Wands is the one that's brave, right? I mean, the Knight of Swords is too for a different reason. The Knight of Swords has no fear of speaking the truth. The Knight of Wands is the one who's going to go charging in and burn it to the ground. Like, it feels like there is a decision to charge in and burn it to the ground, but it feels like somebody here has been on the outside looking in for a while. It's going to cause a tower, but it is going to bring justice. And it's going to bring some information that other people had no idea. Things that were, oh, yes. Oh, when does that happen? Charlie just said it's out of bounds. And I think that Pluto is going out of bounds. If you don't know about that, you might want to see your favorite astrologer. But when Pluto goes out of bounds, it's like and Pluto, I think, oh, yes, is that today? Tomorrow. Pluto goes back direct. So that's going to bring, all that stuff that was hiding in the underbelly, brings it all to the surface, so you have to sort it out. That's what this feels like with all this, because I'm looking at Aquarius energy, right? I'm looking at Aquarius, Libra, Gemini energy. So it feels like something is about to be exposed here because something is going out of bounds. It feels like no more. I'm just going to run in there and I'm going to say the truth because that's the way it needs to be. And I don't care what the effects are. But the effects are some sort of awakening, some sort of huge shift that brings something to an end. What's the Tower? What? Look, you guys, I've been doing readings today and all of these cards are duplicating themselves. And I'm using two different decks, right? So I feel like for you, there is something that is shifting, and it feels like, the universe is like, yeah, that's exactly what's going down. I want to say it's an implosion of something. Something is collapsing under the weight of itself. So it was a false foundation, and so it feels like something is shifting, and it's not all bad. I'm going to say it's not all bad. But it also does feel like when this falls to shit, and it will, it feels like when it falls to the ground, it reunites people. So it feels like, how can I explain it? It feels like a shock to the system, but it feels like it reunites people. So it's like whenever there's a tragedy or a natural disaster or something like that, I'm not saying that that's what this is. This feels like a personal shift. This does not feel like a global thing to me. It feels as though that there is this shift, and it feels like it unites people. So it makes people draw a line in the sand with the Ace of Swords. It makes people take a side. Now, because it is exposed, there's no way we cannot take a side. And it brings people together that were supposed to be together. It brings groups of people together to support each other. We've got the Two of Pentacles, because now there's going to have to be a lot of decision making done. We're going to have to make careful, practical decisions that are going to require this or that. It feels like things that were unstable are going to become stable. Isn't that interesting? It's sort of a paradox, right? Because the Tower falls because it's unstable, but it brings stability here, is what it feels like. It brings us together now. Now we have to make these decisions. Look, this Tower could be that something happens in the family, and now we're forced to look at it and make decisions. Tell me what this Justice is, please. Tell me what Justice is. We've got the Ace of Pentacles. It might have to do with money, property, abundance of some sort. Could have to do with a job. We've got the Knight of Swords again. Again, we're duplicating cards. And look, I don't have that many cards on the table, right? For the Knight of Swords and the Tower to both come out at the same time, we got the Six of Swords. Okay, so it feels like it does move something to a calmer place. That when the Knight of Swords shows up with this information that brings in the instability, it feels like all of a sudden this looks like it is, excuse me, it's going to take us to a calmer place because justice is here. Now, if justice represents something that is in the courts, it feels like something is going to be resolved and the other person's argument falls to the ground. It feels like the Tower, like I said, collapses upon itself because its foundation was faulty. So it feels like with these 3 pentacles, you can see it's Ace of Pentacles sticking out here, these 3 pentacles, we needed the Tower to come so we could start to build the foundation stronger. We saw the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I mean, it's been up for a while, right? I think they keep doing work on it so it stays up. But, you know, it's like this thing was leaning. We all saw it leaning and we knew it was going to fall in. Tell me about the Ten of Wands. What were you carrying around? Because I feel like maybe this may be even something that has nothing to do with you. Maybe it's something that you're watching from a distance. It could be that because the High Priestess is here with the Ten of Wands. And maybe you're the person who says something, right? Maybe you're the person who goes charging in and says, look, no, that's not how it went down. There was a betrayal here. And that's why we need justice. We need to move to a calmer place because I've got additional information that none of y'all knew about. So I feel like this High Priestess could be the stuff that you've been carrying around or that you've been keeping silent, but you're about to liberate yourself and say something. You might be the one that causes the Tower for other people as well. Tell me about the High Priestess and the Ten of Wands, please. What have you been carrying around here? We've got the Devil. We've got the King of Wands. We've got the Five of Swords. Feels like the king has got caught in their own web. Gosh. You know what it feels like? It feels like you are going to be the one to testify. Now, this could be in court, or it just could be you're finally speaking up. And now you're at the place. Look, the Knight of Swords, as I said, Gemini, doesn't care to read the room. I'm just going to tell you as it is because the truth doesn't give a shit if you like it or not. The Five of Swords is here with the King of Wands. I feel like the King of Wands is about to say something that's going to piss a whole pile of people off. But, oh, I like this. I just never noticed this before because they're all different. But this particular Five of Swords, you can see that this Five of Swords guy, he has 2 swords over the heart. It tells me I'm telling the truth of my heart. I need to say something. I feel like this is something that has been looping back to you, that you've been maybe carrying some guilt because I haven't been saying it. And it feels like I don't want to be attached to this anymore. I don't want to be attached to the family. I don't want to be attached to the idea. I don't want to be attached to the situation anymore. Tell me about the Ten of Wands. We've got the Four of Wands. We've got the Nine of Wands. And we've got the Ace of Swords. You are speaking your truth about something here. Look, the Nine of Wands could be, I'm speaking the truth about some sort of abusive marriage, abusive home life. You've been carrying this around for a while. Gosh. Now it's giving me the feeling that somebody is just saying it. You know what? I was abused in that relationship. I was abused in the family. I was abused as a kid. It feels like it crashes everything in. I feel like you stand up finally and speak your truth, and it brings everything to an end. I think that somebody sees it as a betrayal, that you're speaking it out loud, Aries. But if there's anybody to do it, it's the leader. Aries, I feel like you're the one who's finally standing up. The King of Wands is here, right? Aries energy with the Devil energy saying, all bets are off. I'm not carrying this anymore. It's been attached to me forever. And I'm going to say whatever I've got to say at any cost. The Five of Swords is here. And the Queen of Swords is not mincing words. Absolutely not. And it is going to implode something. Somebody is speaking up about something sinister that was under the devil that was under the surface. And it's going to make something implode here. Look, we're going to go into the extended. We're going to, oh my gosh, the lawyer's here. Lawyer, judge, magistrate. Something big time is going down here. It feels like there is a big truth to be told with a lot of facts. Somebody is creating a space that is safe enough for you to come forward and say something here. Do not push this moment aside, because I think it's grand. I think that you are closing a major door in your life, and it's time for you to stand up and say something. We're going to go into the extended. If you'd like to be in the extended, please look at the top of the comments section. The top of the comments section, there's one pinned comment. It'll tell you how to get to the membership area if you wish to see at least 4 extendeds in a month, or it'll show you how to purchase this one outright if you just want to see this extended only. Also, if you're interested in booking a private reading, whether it's a live reading or a pre-recorded reading, I'm doing both of those. All the sales are in the private readings at this time, between 5 and 75% off. Please go look at my schedule, and you can do that by clicking on the Hypsee link. So I'm going to go for now, but I'll be in the extended. If I see you there, great. If I don't, if this is where we part, that's cool too, because I'll be back, because I'm always back. Take care, Aries. Thank you. Bye-bye.